Arrested, you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be held against you. Don't talk to the police. Talk to me first, Attorney Warren E. McAlpine from the Action Attorney Center. I know the law and I know your rights. Whether felony, misdemeanor, drug, OWI, domestic violence, or traffic violation, I can help you. Call today, Warren E. McAlpine, 1-888-292-6908.
You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
It's time for my show. It's time for my show. This is Jackson, Detroit's money-making diva. Listen, grab a paper and a pen. Don't want you to miss a thing. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hello, 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 Detroit, and all of my viewers who are joining me across the nation by way of Comcast and the internet. We are on TV33WHPR.com, Apple TV, Roku, Google TV, and of course we have our own app you can download on your smartphones. That's WHPR33. WHPR33. I'm Miss Jackson, Detroit's money-making diva. Welcome to my show where I'm committed to giving you money-making tips and money-saving tips, news you can use, and a reality check. I'm so excited to be here today. My first show, and a shout out goes definitely to Mr. R.J. Watkins, the president and CEO, Mr. Henry Tyler, the vice president of productions, and of course, Miss Maxine Willis, the queen mother, who just gave me the most fervent prayer. She is so awesome. I'm just so thankful to be part of such an awesome family. And what puts the icing on top of this cake is that this is African American owned, which makes me so proud. And I'm just so elated to be given this opportunity to support this station. And I encourage you to support this station as well. Those of you who are business owners, you need to call me at 248-633-8562. 248-633-8562. Find out how you can partner with me and start spending your advertising dollars in our community with our people. We have an excellent commercial package available for you, and we can get your business and your upcoming events the exposure that it needs and deserves. This is so exciting for me. I'm transitioning from radio to television. But guess what? Mr. Watkins owns a radio station as well. So you can definitely believe I will be getting back to my first love. If Steve Harvey can do it, I can do it too. And the church said, amen. Well, it's time to get down to business and talk about my favorite subject, which is money. Since this is my first show, I guess I can give you a little background on how this came about. About 10 years ago, I found myself in a predicament after being well taken care of by my husband. He passed away, and after going through a horrendous situation with his family, I almost lost everything. And I really had to readjust myself and find ways to make it. And I thank God he kept me in my right mind and directed my path on ways how to make legitimate income, really mostly by ways of self-employment. You know, it's when trouble comes to your door when your faith is really tested. I've been in church all my life, and it's no secret that the prosperity message is constantly being preached. But here's the thing, everybody is dancing and shouting about being millionaires, and it's really not happening. Well, at least not in my circle. I mean, to be honest with you, I can barely pinpoint 1,000 there or even 100 there. I mean, when I see lines wrapped around the corner of banks because it's the first of the month, I'm constantly talking to people who are saying they can't buy anything till the first of the month comes back around. Every Friday, we see tons of people running in and out of payday cash advance places, check and go. What type of life is that? At what point does the prosperity message become a reality for the whole congregation? Now, you can read in between the lines on that note. So I concluded that the failure is not the message, but we as leadership have not equipped the people with information on how to achieve prosperity. This is not a biblical show, but I am a Bible believer, so I will reference to it from time to time. The Bible says, whatsoever our hands find to do shall prosper. So you have to find something to do. And one of my favorite passages of scripture is actually a letter that was recorded in the book of 3rd John. That's 3rd John, in case Donald Trump is watching. We don't want you to say 3 John. That's 3rd John. It's a letter actually John wrote to a man. I think his name is pronounced Gaius. But it starts at verse 2 of that chapter. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of thy charity before the church, whom I thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, thou shalt do well, because that for his name's sake they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles. We therefore ought to receive such, that we might be fellowshippers to the truth. Now, I know this letter was written thousands of years ago, but the truth is I can relate to it. It is my prayer that I be found worthy of such a compliment one day. What we need today is God's truth, financial literacy, and basic knowledge to turn this city around. The truth of the matter is, we are living in a day and an age where anything you could possibly want to know is right at our fingertips. We don't have to go to the library like when I was a kid. Your smartphone, this right here, is so valuable because it's connected to the internet. I tell people all the time, I'm really not that smart. I just read. But if I have to read and report to God's people, so be it. Use me, Lord, for thy service. So now, I hope you have your paper and pens ready, or open your note app on your smartphones because I'm getting ready to give you some information. Now today I am going to give you a few money-making tips. The first tip is for parents who have children who are in the 4th through 12th grades in the form of a scholarship. Now, you may or may not have noticed Kroger has a ton of signs posted right now. They are celebrating Black History Month and the many African Americans who have significantly contributed to our country by way of their 9th annual I Can Make History contest. Now, this encourages cultural and community pride. Kroger will award more than $71,000 in prizes in 4 categories, which are art, essay, music, and poetry. This is open again to all 4th and 12th grade students currently enrolled in school in the state of Michigan. So you can be in any state, any city rather, as long as you are in the state of Michigan. And all of these entries must be received by 5 o'clock p.m. Monday, February the 29th. 2016, which means you have plenty of time. Turn those video games off, turn those TVs off, and do something constructive with your kids. Now, they can enter original work in art, essay, music, or poetry. And again, you can win a scholarship, a tablet, or an e-reader. Now, for the art guidelines, they want you to highlight one of the contest themes. This can be created using any 2-dimensional mediums, including drawing, pencil, crayon, markers, graffiti. Now, this is so key because I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of everywhere you go, graffiti, graffiti, graffiti. How about Let's channel their energy to something positive and try to get paid for it. All right. The second one is essay guidelines. The essays, they must be at least 500 words, and they can exceed 500 words, but at least 500. Music guidelines. For music entries, they should be a minimum of 1 minute and should not exceed 4 minutes. And all you have to do is record it on a USB flash drive as an MP3 file. Music submissions submitted without lyrics must include a 75-word essay explaining or describing how their music relates to one of the highlighted contest themes. And finally, poetry. Poetry entry should be no longer than 30 lines, highlighting one of the contest themes, typed on an 8.5 by 11 paper, single-sided. Now, for more information, all you have to do is go to their website, icanmakehistory.com. That's I, the letter I, canmakehistory.com. Good luck. I encourage each and every one of you, if you have kids, this is something that is fun. It'll be a project for you to interact with your kids with. And who knows, you might come out with a prize. Now for some quick money-making tips. You can earn money and perks by opening a new bank account this month. With so many banks around now, the competition is fierce to gain and retain customers, and they are willing to pay. Now, there are 3 ways to earn money and great perks for starting a new banking relationship. Of course, I am not recommending any of these companies, so I encourage you to do your own due diligence. However, right now, Chase is giving a $150 bonus for opening a new checking account. And there are other banks doing this as well. Just drop into your local banks and see what they have to offer. Number 2, Citizens Bank. $1,000 bonus for opening a checking account for your kids' college savings. That's awesome. Citizens Bank is currently offering a $1,000 bonus for those who sign up for a college saver savings account. An easy, manageable saving plan that will help you meet your college savings needs. It's an interest-bearing account, and if you open it before your child's 12th birthday and save the monthly minimum amount every year, you'll receive a $1,000 bonus when your child turns 18. Opening an account earlier than when your child turns 12 will only increase the savings. And finally, Bank Direct. They are giving out miles, frequent flyer miles. So all you have to do is go online and check out bankdirect.com, and you can earn almost 2,500 miles just for doing that. Now, these are just some of the money-making tips today. If you missed anything, feel free to call me at 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. Now, stay tuned. I'm getting ready to go to a break. But when I come back, I will be giving away some more money-making tips. So keep it locked in. And when we return, I'm going to do something special for February. I'm going to bring you a moment in Black history and some more news that you can use. right, thanks for staying with me, keeping it locked in. Well, it is time for a moment in Black history. You know what? I don't know why we only celebrate it once a month. I'm right now making a decision. I think I'm going to say something about Black history every show because we need to remember the people who paved the way for us. Today, I want to talk about a lady that I just learned about. Her name is Katherine Johnson. She was born August the 26th, 1918, and she is still living. She's 97 years old. She is an American physicist, a space scientist, and a mathematician who contributed to America's aeronautics and space programs with the early application of digital electronic computers at NASA. Now, she is known for accuracy of digital electronic computers. Um, she calculated the trajectory for Project Mercury and the 1969 Apollo 11 flight to the moon. She has often testified how John Glenn trusted her calculations and judgment over the computer. Whenever they brought him calculations, he would say, if Catherine says it's right, I'll do it. Now, I want you to understand how deep this is. She is the one who determined where the spaceship would land. I never thought about it before. I just assumed, like, just be glad that you came back to the earth. But when I really thought about it, you might well want to plan where you land. And this lady, if you Google her and catch her on YouTube, the way she explains calculations is like beyond, it's just phenomenal. Anyway, she graduated high school at the age of 13. At 15, she began attending West Virginia State College. We know it as West Virginia State University today. As a student, she took every math course that the college offered. Multiple professors took her under their wings, including a chemist and mathematician, Angie Turner King, who also mentored her throughout high school. Um, she graduated summa cum laude in 1937 with degrees in math and French at the age of 18. Oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Anyway, after graduation, she moved to Marion, Virginia to teach math, French, and music at a small grade school. In 1938, Katherine Johnson became the first African American woman to desegregate the graduate school at West Virginia University. She was one of the African American students and only female selected to integrate the graduate school after they had a really big United States Supreme Court ruling about this matter. She then became dissatisfied with teaching and she decided on a career in mathematics. And it was during this time that a family member told her that NASA was looking for people. They especially wanted African American women in their guidance navigation department. And Miss Johnson was offered a job in 1953 and she immediately accepted. Um, I just want you to take the time to Google her and get more information about her. But I am going to close out by saying that she did work for them 1953 through 1958, basically as a computer. And she did all kind of, like I said, analysis on all of the flights. They brought them right to her. Miss Katherine Johnson, we salute you. I salute you for your great service to our country and your fine representation of our race, and most of all, for being an example to black women that we can do anything we put our minds to. The vast majority of this information I gave you came from Wikipedia, but again, I encourage you, use the computer, use the internet for more than just Facebook and Twitter. Google this great woman, Katherine Johnson, and see just how awesome of a woman she really is. And even today, she is still in her right mind. It's just living proof that if you live right, that God can bless you and he can keep you. But you've got to apply yourself. Well, it's time for news you can use. Tonight, for the citizens of Detroit. State of the City address for Mayor Mike Duggan is taking place tonight at Second Ebb. Unfortunately, you can only attend if you've been invited, but I do know Fox 2 News will be live streaming it. So it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say as it relates to the progress of our city. Definitely, we know blight is still a major detriment, and crime, um, especially the crime being committed on the elderly citizens of our community. So next week, I'll definitely be coming back to you, giving you my input and my thoughts about what he had to say and what I think is really going on. And I do want to give you the news in case you haven't heard. The Detroit Free Press is reporting that the Board of State Canvassers on yesterday approved a recall petition submitted by Pastor David Alexander Bullock for Governor Rick Snyder over the lead contamination of Flint's drinking water. So Bullock and his supporters will now only have 60 days to collect about 790,000 valid signatures in order to get a recall question on the November ballot. If Snyder is successfully recalled, Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley will become our governor. Now, when our governor was told about the approval for the recall petition during a visit to the State Emergency Operations Center in Diamonddale yesterday, he simply said, well, that's part of the democratic process. And he's right. It is more than a notion to get this recall accomplished. So, of course, I wish Pastor Bullock success in his endeavors, but this will not be an easy task. But with God, all things are possible. We definitely want to keep those residents of Flint in our prayers. We want to take action, and I'm encouraging you. Call the governor's office, 517-373-3400. That's 517-373-3400. You need to call his office and voice your complaints because he works for us. And there's more that you can, more than you can do. I'm sorry. You can do more than just sitting at home talking about it. What are we going to do about it? And it's time for us to stand up and to let these elected officials know how we really feel. Now listen, I want you to call me at 248-633-8562. Leave me a message inclusive of your name, your number, and email address or mailing address so I can send you my updates. Let me know in your message if you'd like me to send you a reminder text of when my show is coming back on. You can also write me at 11,000 West McNichols, Suite 100, Detroit, Michigan 48221. My name is Sherry, Sherri Jackson. You see it on the screen. And again, my phone number is 248-633-8562. Now, for those of you who want to support me and give a donation, I have something special for you. I'm going to send you one of my money-making reports, 7 days to profitable blogging. There's a lot of you who are wondering how you can make money in your spare time at home. Blogging is a way. I do have a money-making report that I want to send to you. So definitely call me at 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. And I also want to make a special appeal to the women who are watching this broadcast. Listen, I was approached by a well-renowned organization, the National Association for Colored Women, and they have approached me to begin a chapter, or actually to reorganize it, a Detroit chapter. And I need some women to help me. There are so many things that need to be done in our community. One of the first projects I want to get started on is we have a lot of homeless children in the public school system who their parents are incarcerated, just going through a whole lot of things. And even though they're wearing uniforms, there are people who can't even afford to buy uniforms. And I know at the beginning of the school year, everybody's doing book bags and school supplies. But I'm sure by this time of the year, that school supplies has run out. Uniforms need to be replaced because children grow like weeds. And so we want to do some things as the women to stand up and look out for our children. It's just so much that needs to be done. And I'm sure that you have some ideas and some things that we can do. We know that women have always been the backbone, and we have always been able to come together and help each other. And it's time out for acting like we don't see our neighbors struggling. Let's get together and help our babies. They all belong to us, everybody. And I'm going to say this, a lot of people, they don't want to share their children with other people. They don't want people saying anything to their kids. It takes a village to raise our children. And I'm getting ready to go off. I think I only have about 3.5 minutes, but I close out my shows with a segment called Meanwhile Back on the Ranch. And it's generally where I address tomfoolery that's going on. I just ran a little bit. And speaking of what I was just saying, I'm really getting sick and tired of turning on the news and seeing our young people knocking up elderly people upside the head, walking over them, laughing, robbing our elderly citizens. It is just deplorable, it's despicable, and it's got to stop. And I want to tell you, I really believe the reason why these kids are so out of control is because I don't have kids, but I'm going to say we as a race, we have gotten away from church. I'm going to need y'all to start bringing these kids back to Sunday school. If you don't do nothing else, send them to Sunday school. Now, if you don't have a church, come to my church, Bethany Baptist Church. We're right on Chicago and Greenfield. We have Sunday school. It starts promptly at 9:30. If you're looking for a church, we have an 8 a.m. service. It's only 1 hour. And we have a 10:45 service. I am the minister of music. You are going to see yours truly, minister of music. But again, think about it. If you haven't been to church in a long time, no church is perfect. Nobody's perfect. But we have to get back to God. Well, my time has come to an end. I thank you so much. I thank Mr. Watkins. I thank my engineers, just everyone for helping me get through this first day. I hope you enjoyed my show. Again, call me 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts, any information that you want me to talk about. I am looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching my show. Listen, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook. That's Detroit's Money Making Diva. And if you want to book me to sing, host your party, MC, or speak at your social or church events, call me at 248-633-8562. That's 248-633-8562. You can also write me or send a donation to support this broadcast. Sherry Jackson, 11,000 West McNichols, Suite 100, Detroit, Michigan, 48221. Thanks again, and have a blessed day.